It was a whole little internet moment. Me today, you'll never see that from me ever again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the situation is, we gonna try to, feel me, maneuver it another way that is not even, I don't want no negative. I'm trying to go positive, you know what I'm saying?
This was a 2021 interview with Lil TJ, who was at the peak of his powers and hoping to focus on nothing but positivity. Fast forward to today, and these words have not aged well. In the span of 5 months, Lil TJ was involved in 4 separate controversies, all of which have brought on a whirlwind of hate his way. And instead of maneuvering his way out of it, TJ has embraced them with open arms and continued to dig his hole deeper. So why has Lil TJ become this way, and is there more to it than people just simply hating for the sake of hating? Well, to understand where Lil TJ is today, we gotta get a little bit of a handle of where he once was. Best known for the song Calling My Name, Lil TJ was a part of this transitionary SoundCloud phase, really blowing up on YouTube in terms of his rise to fame on the platform, and through his style of singing and rapping with these street elements. Throughout his career, he attracted the regular amount of hate for an artist, but nothing too special. The quote at the beginning of the video was in reference to his internet drama with Ruby Rose. For his 19th birthday, he flew her out. She discovered some text on his phone from other women. She wanted to then go home, but he refused to pay for her flight. Then Ruby, in protest, called the police. This story obviously caused a lot of drama, but wasn't necessarily something that would have angered his core fan base. And for a few years, Lil TJ was actually doing numbers that most rappers would envy. TJ was signed to Columbia Records, and his first 2 albums reached number 5 on the Billboard charts. Any hating that Lil TJ received began to fade in 2022 when he was horrifically shot 7 times during a robbery. Having miraculously survived this incident, he received a lot of street cred, but also just a lot of people genuinely wishing him well. The very next year, he released an album about this experience, but with the best will in the world, many people just didn't think it was as good as his earlier music. It reached number 24 on Billboard. It was a long time after his first album, and even a review on Hip Hop DX read, "There's no Zoo York or Calling My Phone to be found." So with Lil TJ's popularity supposedly on the wane, it does not seem to be a coincidence that that was when this internet drama began to resurface. Many headlines in 2024 discussed his association with Ice Spice, where she cheated on her boyfriend Riot with Lil TJ. TJ also had many run-ins with the law. But the real backlash of hate began when TJ started to underestimate the power that streamers have and overestimate the power that he thought he still had. On November 5th, 2024, Kodak Black made a now infamous appearance on Kai Cenat's stream. It became abundantly clear that Kodak was either heavily on drugs or was slow, and he could even be seen popping what seemed to be a Percocet live on stream. For many people, this was concerning for 2 reasons. Kodak looked like he needed help, and Kai maybe should have turned off the cameras. Lil TJ weighed in on this incident and wrote on Instagram, "I fake hate this kid. Him and Aiden the biggest D-riders in life." So TJ clearly had an issue not only with the Kodak interview, but streamers like Kai and Aiden Ross in general. It's not immediately clear who started messaging who first, but a rather heated exchange of messages then took place between Aiden Ross and Lil TJ. Aiden Ross responded by saying, "Me and Kai always show nothing but love to you, and gotta stop taking them perks. That ish F with your head." It was this comment that really rubbed TJ the wrong way, and TJ began to properly air out his grievances with Aiden Ross.
I told Aiden, your culture vulture, he told me I'm on perks. I don't take perks. I don't take drugs. I might sip in a little now and then. Actually, less than you. Racist. I look like I take perks because I'm black, right? I know. I sent him a voice note about how I feel like your culture vulture. He told me he's not watching that. He's watching the election. And that I need to stop taking perks. That's what you think about. He just grind his way to the top using that little face card he got.
Right or wrong, Aiden Ross often gets accused of being a, quote, culture vulture. That being said, his insinuation that he said TJ takes perks because he's black seemed like a bit of a reach. What seemed like an even bigger reach was when TJ said Kodak did not have a drug problem, but that was just how rappers act.
So stop looking at Yak like he's a weirdo. No, sometimes that's how rappers act. In our society, that's how we act, that's how we get.
And this back and forth led to Lil TJ threatening Aiden.
He threatened me in the DMs. Like, he really threatened me in the DMs. He said, I got friends who kill. I said, over me? I'm a streamer. Like, bro, I swear to God.
What was even more surprising was that TJ called out Kai Cenat and was someone he couldn't accuse of being a culture vulture, as they both grew up in the Bronx. Responding on stream, Kai suggested that there were ulterior motives behind this outburst.
I generally be minding my business, then some way, somehow, I get dragged in somewhere every single time. And I'm gonna just go ahead and think that a song or album or something about a drop, you feel me?
Kai was correct that TJ did have music to promote the next month. However, instead of an album, this was an EP named Farewell, which marked the end of his his contract with Columbia Records, as TJ wanted to now become an independent artist. As a final project for the label, this presumably did not have the same marketing budget and promotion as his other projects, so this could be partially why he decided to call out Kai. Whatever the case, TJ was now a much less popular artist than previous years and got a bit of a reality check with this next drama. On January 6, 2025, Plaqueboy Max hosted one of his famous In the Booth streams where artists release new songs live on his channel and create music right there. Max is a streamer that's not at the same level as Kai Cenat or Aiden Ross, but still a rising figure and one of the most popular up-and-coming ones, if we can even call him that anymore. Max had rented out an Airbnb in Brooklyn and wanted to promote songs by Trippie Redd, who couldn't make it, and the group 41. Max also invited the rapper D-Lou, who brought along Bass Swag, who invited Fabio Foreign, who invited Lil TJ. Recalling the situation on the later stream, Max said,
okay, cool. But I told him, yo, please don't pull up deep. The rules was always, yo, please don't pull up deep. You feel me? It's cool. Come on, go ahead and slide. It's fine. But please just don't pull up with all these.
But despite these words, Max ended up with a room full of people, and suddenly Max could smell smoke.
Who's smoking? Yo, TJ.
What's up? Who the
Yo, this a B&B. You can't smoke in here. They don't go off.
However, despite asking nicely to stop smoking, Max smelled smoke once again.
Yo, bro. Yo, you can't smoke in here. This shit gonna go off. Like, please. I appreciate you. Can you show them where, like, in the back, they cannot smoke in?
Backyard, take them to the back. Take everybody to the backyard.
That's what I'm thinking. Yo, yeah. Show them in the back. If niggas not gonna smoke in the back, niggas can't be in here. They gotta go.
Max continued to play music, and you can see Lil TJ gradually make his way back up the room. It was actually both TJ and Fabio that refused to stop smoking.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. If niggas smoking here, I'm gonna have to shut this down. Like, the stream done. Like, there's
So rather tiringly, Max had to tell TJ and Fabio to stop smoking inside the house. Lil TJ and Fabio agreed to leave, but make sure to watch Fabio on his way out. Not only does he refuse to shake Max's hand, he also blows smoke right in his direction. The fact that it was an Airbnb meant that Max could be fined and could be banned from the platform, which could jeopardize any other streaming sessions around the country. On a later stream, Max explained that setting off the smoke alarm would have ruined the entire stream.
I guess you cannot smoke in this shit because I smoked in the B&B and the fire alarm went off for 3 hours, nigga, and it wouldn't come off. So if these fire alarms go off, this stream is over, which I explained to them.
So all of these risks needed to be taken because TJ and Fabio didn't want to smoke out in the backyard. And even if you put all these issues aside, if someone tells you to stop smoking inside their house, it's just very basic manners to stop.
Regardless of what the reason is to why I say don't smoke in my crib, don't smoke in my crib if I ask you not to smoke in my crib. It's a respect thing. I have respect for y'all. Please have respect for me. Otherwise, I don't want to do business with you.
The ironic thing is that Max is arguably the type of streamer that TJ should be rooting for, and is the exact opposite of the quote culture vulture type streamer that he painted Aiden Ross as being last year. Max sent an entire list of underground rappers to Kai Cenat to check out.
And then I'll say Tana, and then
Tana's on this list right here.
and then Che Romani. That should be good. Like those are niggas you should do.
And every other rapper he worked with. Max has never had this problem.
You see Bass Swag, 4-1, Cash Cobain, every artist I've ever invited on stream. All them niggas have respected me, I respect them, and we have fun and it's good vibes every time. This is the first time something ever happened like this.
TJ responded to this criticism, and rather than apologize, he doubled down.
But if I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro, like, I pulled up for Favi. Plaqueboy Max, no disrespect, I deadass didn't know you. I deadass never heard of you. I pulled up for Favi, bro. Everywhere I go, I be smoking. I pay the fine. How much this cost, bro? Real shit, how much this shit cost, bro?
To be fair to TJ, he did spend some time on this stream owning up to dissing Kai Cenat.
And then Kai Cenat, I ain't gonna lie, I was fake. I'll tell you the real shit. I was fake chatting. Cause I already just feel like the nigga be critiquing me too much, bro. You know how niggas be like fake. I felt like he was riding me for some weird reason.
This could be genuine, or it could be him realizing that Kai Cenat is much more popular than him. But getting a simple apology for smoking someone else's home was not something that he was willing to do. TJ then spoke with the rapper and streamer DDG and continued to explain why he was somehow in the right.
I think of it like this, bro. I come from an upbringing from the Bronx, bro, where you walk down the wrong block be like, what are you doing? And just punch on your mouth. You just know, like, all right, don't walk here, don't walk here, don't walk. Like, it's just a whole, like, so different from how a lot of these grew up that it's just like, my mind is just like, wired different, bro.
When Blackboy Max said, "I appreciate it," to be polite, Lil TJ interpreted this as him talking down to him.
And it's like, you feel me? My son said, yo, can you not smoke? Excuse me, thank you, or appreciate it. Like that, immediately. I ain't even put the blunt out, appreciate it. I'm like, I've been in jail, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I've been in jail as a minor, bro. I was a fucking felon at 13. I don't know who niggas supposed to think Lil TJ is, bro. You feel me?
You get the impression that TJ is surrounded by an entourage that are too afraid to challenge his behavior, when you would expect this sort of an attitude from a teenager. Lil TJ was 23 when this occurred, and Fabio was a fully grown man at 34. There were very few people that defended TJ, and it required a lot of mental gymnastics to argue his case. This is what the streamer XQC had to say.
If you tell somebody, yo, dude, don't do this while on camera, right? A lot of people, most people, are gonna feel like they're kind of being bitch if they abide by that. Knowing this is in the real world, to just say, hey, yo, hey, can you come out back for a minute? And say, hey man, listen, we can't smoke in here, whatever. So that the audience doesn't know, right?
And because Lil TJ had started an unnecessary feud with Kai months earlier, Kai was now more than happy to air out his opinions on the situation.
I was out there, because a lot of my people be wanting to smoke in my house, and I'm like, nah. But when they say they don't want to, a lot of people have respect and be like, nah, I bet I could respect that. Let me go outside or go to my car or whatever. Like, it's never that serious to smoke weed.
Kai also took particular issue with people excusing TJ because he was from New York and grew up in the Bronx.
People saying, nah, from a New York standpoint, I get it. Like, I get it. He a New York, so like, I get it. Like, from a New York standpoint, I really understand it. Stop. Take some accountability, bro. Like, on some real shit, stop. Like, that makes us look bad. Like, for real. As from New York, that shit ain't look bad.
Then Kai said that acting up on a live stream is the worst thing you can do.
To the outside world, for some reason, like, streamers are just people that just on the computer and shit, but whole time, it's the worst place where you can do something. You feel me? It's the worst place where you could do something. Because a lot of people is watching this shit. But I'm not gonna lie, he did ask bad times like, hey, can you stop? And then he went 3 times.
You would think that this would be the end of things. However, Fabio released a track dissing Max, and TJ released his own hoodies and t-shirts with no smoking written on the front, and "Appreciate You Though" on the back. On a TikTok video promoting the merch, the top comment with 120,000 likes read, "Love seeing streamers help small artists out." The biggest argument in TJ's defense was that the internet probably made too much of it. However, just a few weeks later, he did something that didn't help his reputation one bit. In February of 2025, TJ went to a boxing match at Madison Square Garden between Olympic silver medalist Keshawn Davis and Dennis Berenchik, and TJ ended up being banned from MSG forever. TJ got into an altercation with a security guard, and there are conflicting reports of exactly how it started. According to Hot New Hip Hop, TJ was taking pictures where he leaned against a guardrail and accidentally broke a light. According to TMZ, TJ and his crew were pushing to get ringside and were stopped in their tracks by security. But whatever sparked this incident, the outcome was TJ spitting on the security guard.
I had to show up for my son, man. Keyshawn Jr. Man, he was in the crowd watching me, man. I had to show up for my boy, you know what I'm saying? This just means a lot to me right now. This would be the ring.
In many ways, this is arguably worse than if he had thrown hands at him. Spitting is just a much deeper level of disrespect and disgust than a normal fight, and this was merely a security guard doing his job. But once again, Lil TJ was affronted by being politely asked not to do something. It was also not a wise move either. He is now permanently banned from all Madison Square Garden properties, Madison Square properties, which include Madison Square Garden, the theater at Madison Square Garden, Radio City Music Hall, the Beacon Theater, and the Chicago Theater. Lil TJ actually performed at the theater at Madison Square Garden in 2023, which holds about 5,600 people. So because of this incident, he won't ever be playing there again. And you can imagine the other potential venues and promoters catching wind of this incident and weighing up the popularity and the waning popularity of Lil TJ and the headaches that could result from working with him. And unlike the smoking incident, it's hard to find any diehard fans defending this behavior. XXL shared the clip of the incident on X Twitter, and it's hard to find a single positive comment. And of course, many people made the joke that the security guard had told TJ to stop smoking. But instead of maneuvering away from the incident, TJ decided to embrace it. He decided to wear the exact same clothing that Tupac wore when he spat on paparazzi in 1994. He then wore the same outfit for his next music video, Apex. So this was TJ's way of continuing to draw attention to himself, but also tried to reframe the narrative that spitting on someone is cowardly behavior. But comparing himself to Tupac arguably brought on even more hate, and it was yet another example of him using drama to promote something and stay relevant. And the strange thing is, TJ was not exactly just moving from one internet drama to the next. In fact, while he was beefing with Plaque Max, he was actually sowing the seeds for another beef that wouldn't properly come to light until March. While Lil TJ had been disrespectful to streamers and security guards, you would at least think that he had respect for Offset. You could argue that SoundCloud rappers like him are heavily indebted to Migos and the groundwork they laid in the 2010s. But in January, before he was invited on the Plaque Max stream, TJ was already trying to stir something up with Offset. On Instagram, he put up a screenshot of a fiery exchange of messages he had with Offset. TJ said that he was going to knock the ish out of Offset, and Offset called his bluff and said that he was in New York if he wanted to try it. TJ was apparently in Miami. On the bottom of the screenshot, TJ wrote, "Do not lend Offset no money. He popped." Then on a live stream a few days later, somebody asked him why he was taking shots at Offset, and he explained.
I'll tell you a true story. Nigga, I ain't got nothing to do with that in the casino. He was popped. He was panicking, asking random people for cash apps. He was broke. I don't know what happened. Nobody was answering his phone call. He popped, trying to run up, chasing. Must got us gambling in a dish game.
TJ claimed that he lent Offset $10,000, and another person lent him $2,000, and another person lent him another $1,000.
I paid back that day. You feel me? Bro, where's my mother? This shit ducked me for so long, boy. And mind you, I'm 23, and this is Raindrop, Drop Top, Cardi B husband. And I'm only talking crazy because he was talking crazy. Like, why you would talk crazy to me over my bread?
Offset either did not hear these comments or chose not to respond. However, in March, when TJ's other controversies had died down, he decided to take shots at Offset once again. He posted on Instagram, "I could never be broke like Set, running off making smoke over lunch money. I'ma have to smoke on 100 streams for it to get to all that. But yeah, free smoke tomorrow," for ninja emojis. This post was shared by Academics, which is where Offset caught wind of it and responded. In the comments section, Offset tagged TJ and wrote, "Let's hit it on live. I'll fly to you. This ain't gonna stop your fell off allegations." This is arguably the one beef where TJ might have had a point. If Offset did get loan money and he didn't pay it back, then it's only right for him to be mad about it. And TJ's also not the only person making the claim that Offset is broke, possibly stemming from his divorce from Cardi B as well as his tax debts. But because Offset is a lot more respected than TJ, even musically, and because of TJ's antics from beforehand, many people sided with Offset. Also, Lil TJ putting Offset in a position where he would look like a fool and a punk if he paid after being called out by Lil TJ on social media adds a lot of fuel to the fire. Nothing has come of this drama since then, and hopefully things have calmed down. Ultimately, all of these issues in the span of a couple of months sprint have led to the hate that Lil TJ gets now. And while these incidents may have kept him in the headlines, it's hard to imagine that burning bridges with streamers and rappers, both things you need in the current landscape of your industry, as well as getting banned from venues, is going to help him in the long term. At the same time, he no longer has the marketing budget and promotion that comes with being with a major label like Columbia, and may have no other option of going down the route of all publicity is good publicity. As an independent artist, it will be interesting to see how his career pans out in the future.